Oh, who? Hey,
What's bragging?
what up, nigga? Nigga, why you all calm now, dog?
Hmm?
Why the fuck are you just like hella calm now, bruh?
You just be vibe. I be vibe.
Nigga, bruh, you know I don't smoke, bruh. I got like contact high from being around them
For
niggas,
real.
man. Yeah, man, I'm like hella tired and shit, dog. Yeah, I don't
They
smoke
be,
at all.
they be
Like,
smoking dumb. I don't be smoking either. Nigga, the most I'll smoke is a vape.
man, shit. I only drink. I drink every day, which is not good for you either. But like, I figure that's
Drink
my.
some wine.
Yeah, I should start drinking wine. I be drinking
Cause you'll
hard
get
liquor.
bro. Not only that, it's healthy for you. It gets you drunk slash high, and then bro, it's like there's no health defect.
Yeah, I might have to start fucking with wine a little bit, man. Yeah,
Get
I've been going hard with that Henny. You know my nickname
get
is
red get red wine. Nigga, you drink one glass of red wine, bro. You set, bro. You in a good vibe for hours.
nigga. Don't kick no game to me like I'm your fans and shit, nigga. What the fuck you kicking? This
Red
nigga
wine
be thinking,
Merlot.
yeah. No, you are
Get
right though.
some
You are
Merlot.
right. You are right. You are right. I gotta get some wine to really mix up in my shit, bro.
You got anxiety, fam.
Why you say that?
I can read you. I can see it.
You know, I could read something about you. I was gonna tell you this the last time, like just me and you talk. I think no, this is my theory. I think and I know you have gone to therapy. I think when niggas have gone to therapy, they see things or they see shit in people differently from other people. You get me?
Mm.
Because I feel like you going through that and like kind of also picking up certain shit, you almost assume the role of a therapist sometimes when you're talking to other people. Because what's probably drawn out of you by your therapist, you could easily point out in other people.
I've been like this though. I just can read people.
Why are you up this time though? You don't sleep?
I'm always up.
Was you looking up hentai porn or some shit?
I should be, but no.
Bro, yo, can I get it on that vlog tomorrow, dog?
You want to get on the vlog?
Yeah, man, I want to kick some knowledge too. You don't think I could kick some knowledge?
You can. We just have to go into a pact if that's what you want to do.
You be using certain words that be sound like a little bit too deep. A pact, like when niggas hear of a pact, sacrifice, all that.
Aren't wolves in packs?
Yeah, but when you hear of a pact, when it comes to humans, it feels like a
No,
lifetime
brotherhood,
agreement or a brother. Yeah,
brotherhood. If you want longevity, you know I got longevity. I got longevity, so it has to just be an agreement.
I ain't gonna lie, man, bruh. Do you, what books you read?
I don't read currently.
Okay, what things do you study?
Myself, the world. I've just passed my own judgment. You know, that's what all authors really do. All authors. See, it's hard. It's harder to read a book than it is to write it. Truly.
Okay, I get all that. But there's somewhere where you have cultivated certain type of messages or even cultivating a way that you put those messages out and you've learned how to disseminate it in a way that people could digest and subscribe to. That's
Yeah,
not I don't believe that's natural.
that is natural.
Stop it, nigga.
It is natural. The only book I've ever read that taught me more about my mind was The Master Key, and that's when I was in jail. But it had nothing to do with my mind. My mind had already formulated this judgment, this perception. I've always perceived differently. That's why I was always the oddball.
Hey, by the way, you're on my stream. I don't know if you know.
Right now,
Yeah, nigga, that's what. Oh, you probably don't know. There's a headset. When I have this on, I'm usually on stream.
damn nigga, why you ain't let me know?
Nigga, you ain't saying nothing crazy. But no, what I was gonna say is that yo, shit, you were like super turnt earlier. Now you're just like in a zen mode, kicking, like you know what I mean, on some. Look like you trying to have a deep conversation and shit.
Cause my little cousin was around earlier, so I just be trying to make my little cousin happy. I be trying to entertain him.
Yo, what was that conversation I had with Kodak? How was
Which
that?
one?
Well, I don't know how many
Um,
times you guys talk, but he put up a conversation and you were trying to tell him to be safe. You're like, yo, listen, watch the people around you and watch your surroundings.
I felt I'm a very aware person, and I felt energy formulating towards Kodak that he didn't need, well, that he didn't want or need formulating against him. I won't put it into words. He's not he's very ignorant to certain things, but it's because he wants to be. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to. Like I don't want to speak for the next man. You feel me? But all I was being the equilibrium in that situation, just telling him, providing him the options spiritually that he needed to perceive in order to move forward or to move backwards. But that
Who
all
does that
falls
for
down
you?
on him.
Who does that for
Hmm?
you?
That's the lonely part about being me. Nobody.
Somebody probably does.
No. Why
Parents.
would I lie? I don't have to lie to you.
No, not necessarily. I didn't say a line, but what I'm saying is that who do you often see like tries to give you that type of, hey, listen, stop doing
Everyone
this.
can offer support, but nobody can be my backbone. I am my backbone.
Hmm. Was
And then
Kodak receptive? Was he receptive to that?
Kodak was very receptive. Kodak was definitely very receptive because it's a mutual respecting. Like, but it's like regardless of anything, we gotta respect each other's minds because of who we are. You know what I'm saying? And where we are and who we are, we're the only one that has amounted to what we've amounted to. Now, it's different if I was some random nigga coming to him spitting no game at all. But look how much I've achieved. You know what I'm saying? Look how much I've achieved. Look where my mind is, and look how differently I articulate myself from him. And we grew up basically in the same place. We both grew up in Broward. He in a different city, but we grew up around the same place. You feel me? So in the same context, look how I've come out and look how he's come out. We're two different people. He has different mannerisms and he has different perception. So all I did was evaluate on my perception and what the world was telling me to tell him, and he perceived that. And whether he moves in that direction or not, I respect him as a man. And he's gonna be a man regardless. So
Do you ever feel like you owe it to your fans to kind of steer them? Like, because I feel like that's what the vlogs
yes,
are.
and that's what I'm doing. And that's what I'm doing. But my main thing is it's a difference, right? It's a difference to be wanted and needed. If I'm needed, right? If this energy is needed, because it is. We don't have many teachers. We don't have many prophets. You know what I'm saying? How it was funny because Bob Marley said something very important. How long it was either Bob Marley or somebody. How long are we going to sit aside and let them murder our prophets? How long are we going to sit aside? Like you have these people that arise and come out of nowhere, and our teachers and our people that are supposed to lead and push people in the right direction with energy.
Do you
These
feel
are the
like you're a
people
teacher and a leader?
of the youth, yes, of the youth, because they are the ones that can be molded. I have to be very careful with my message. All I want is for people to be able to be themselves, to be free-minded, to ideally understand themselves more, and to unlock that piece of their mind that gives them clarity, that gives them ground. You know what I'm saying? But in order for me to lead people in that direction or to lead anyone in that direction, people have to show the necessity, the need that for me. You know what I'm saying? They have to elaborate on that. They have to be willing to show me that they care about me and put that equal effort, whether it means physically going somewhere and speaking about me or like, bro, it would mean the world to me if people would go out of their way and leave their houses physically and do whatever they could to help me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if everybody put in that equal amount of energy, then I could amount to what I needed to amount to really assert myself. But sometimes it's better, like, I don't be trying to, like, tell people, like, oh, yeah, bro, save me. I'm not trying to tell people that. Because if it's genuine, people will do it.
Yo, you're at top of the rap game, at least for, you know what I mean? I
Uh-uh.
always, I, oh,
Rap game, no. I'm on top of the music game.
okay. Well, but I still even have to put a caveat
Yeah.
when it comes to your generation, because it's going to be somebody who points out like some huge megastar and be like, he's not on that level. But still, when it comes to,
But here's a strange thing, though. You do realize that my energy is purely mine, right?
like, explain.
Like, my energy is purely mine. Like, you can call my label and ask them, how much, if they were able to do any promotion behind anything I've done, and it will be no. Like, because even when I dropped my last album, 17, All those numbers was purely off the strength of my fan base. Purely. And that amazed the fuck out of everyone because it was like, yo, like, all right, to compare it to Uzi's drop, right? Uzi's drop had plenty of interviews behind it. Uzi had a huge,
Had a
major,
rollout, marketing
yeah,
budget.
exactly, and it was all planned, pre-planned. Now with mine, that was literally me saying, yo, me talking to my fans, yo, I'm dropping it on this day, and I'm gonna drop it. My label had my label had no clue. Nobody knew what the fuck I was doing. I
You had
just
a
dropped it.
distribution deal. That's important to know. You had a distribution
Exactly.
deal,
I
which
had a
means that
distribution.
they weren't going to promote your stuff. They were going to just
They
put it
just
out
they
there.
were gonna just put it out and pay for it and get a percentage.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, do you think your fan base has changed? I mean, at first when it was announced that you signed, which by the way, like, and just personally,
People haven't. My fan base has not changed, and I don't like to call it a fan base. My family has not changed. My supporters have not changed. It's what we've appropriated that has changed. It's what has become the cool shit that has changed. Some like look, as new artists come out, different waves will surface. But not all of these have longevity. Not all of these have the same purpose and meaning. Not all of these have the same raw energy. You could go to like all right, it's hard. It's very hard to explain, but you can see it in the energy. You can see it in the message. You can see it in everything. Like all right, look how many times I've got. Like I said, look how many times I've got my ass kicked in the media. Look how many times, bro. I have millions of dollars. I have millions of dollars. I know plenty of people. If I really wanted someone to be harmed, I could harm them. I've stuck by my message purely it's not for me. It's for them to show it's possible. It's not for me because if it was for me, I would have been gotten revenge. I would have been gotten revenge, and that's always how I was. I changed myself in order to be that person for them, to be that platform for them. So when I got punched in my shit, when I went through what I went through, even when I went back to jail that last time, right, for some shit, like, and I'm not even gonna evaluate on that because I'm not supposed to. I was told to, but not to by the court, so I can't say anything about that. But even when I went back to jail last time,
no,
I didn't.
I did want to
Go
ask
ahead.
you one thing. Again, nothing about the case or anything like that. Just your mindset. When you were remanded and they put you in jail for that first day, did you kind of, again, and I don't know if you ever looked to a higher power or not, but did you kind of look at yourself and say, yo, I fucked up? Like, yo, I'm back where I never wanted to return after
No,
I got out the last time.
no, because I know it was the universe protecting me.
What do you mean?
It was the universe protecting me
You
because
felt,
I might have been in the wrong place at the wrong time during that time.
so you didn't look at it as a bad thing. Because at that
No.
point, it was probably one of the worst times you could go in.
Why would you say that?
I mean, you're a very successful artist. You just came off dropping a very successful album. You just reportedly signed a $6 million deal, which is still
That's all
blowing.
material.
Okay, but to get locked up at that point, it's like almost
A
stopping your
reality check.
progress. It's reality. So you felt it was a reality check.
Yeah, and
Did you think that? Did
I
you
was
think that
only in
initially?
I was only in jail for 6 to 7 days. Initially, I questioned my entire life. I I wanted to commit suicide. I started to question myself. But in question, life really starts with a question, wouldn't it? Doesn't life start with a question? Everything starts with a question. So I began to question myself. Anything that can cause you to question yourself is simply a reality check. Who am I currently? Where am I headed? What are my goals? I had realized that I had abandoned a lot of things that had made me the person I was. I had almost lost my reason. I saw myself going towards a direction that I wasn't supposed to go towards. Now, the reason I had went back to jail was a fucked up reason because it wasn't a real valid reason, and I won't evaluate on it. But everything worked out how it was supposed to, wasn't it?
You know what? I'll give you credit for this. You're definitely one of the most self-aware artists I know. You know why? Because you've gone through a lot of ups and downs. Like, shoot, we
Are we
saw.
talking about music? Are we talking about music artists? Are we
No,
talking about artists? Period. Because if we're
no,
talking
no,
about
no,
artists,
no.
Jim Carrey is
No. Let's remove even just artists, people,
Jim
because
Carrey. Jim Carrey.
oh, no, no, but I'm trying to elaborate on you.
Okay.
You got knocked out on stage, and
Yeah.
we've had multiple conversations since then. And this is the self-awareness part, where you could say, you know what, when that happened to me, I fucked up in terms of how I handled something, or I jumped out like out the window or whatever. A lot of times people don't think that ever. You know what I mean? When something happens to you bad, you don't
because they're
really
not thinking
own
for the
up.
long run.
Like, was it a process for you to feel like that though?
To a
Because at
degree.
first, I could imagine, even with
I've never. Let me tell you something. I've never been a man of ego. You want to know the difference between me and artists and all these other artists? I've never been a man of ego, ever. The only ego I've had is simply feeling as if I deserved loyalty. That's the only sense of ego I've had, and that if someone was disloyal to me, that it would hurt me. And that's the only sense of ego I've had. That's the only even like, and you can't even really attach that to ego. You understand?
Hey, do you tie your need because a lot of people like you, and even me, like I value loyalty very high on the
Yes.
totem
Yes.
pole with people. But I remember you put up some posts, and I hope, and again, I'm not telling you what you should put in your next vlog or whatever vlog, but I hope you
Of
do
course.
elaborate on that. Like one time you had put up a string of posts explaining why you were certain ways, and you were talking about how, like, it was kind of like your father abandoned you, and like you didn't grow up with a dad. You know what I mean? Is that dependency that probably came from that? The reason why you value loyalty so much?
Let me clarify something because I don't want my words because I've even twisted my own words out of emotion, you know, because
Hmm.
everything is very real. So I speak on how I feel at the moment. You
Yeah.
understand? So um abandoning the aspect like, okay, my father did what he deemed fit for his life, right? Now that was deemed as selfish to me because he could have taken the hard route. He could have taken the hard route just as I took the hard route because I did take the hard route. He could have took the hard route and he would have got a much more rewarding future. You understand? But in that I wouldn't be me. I would be a lesser. I wouldn't be the person I exist to be today. So it was in that him being selfish and making his own decisions for what he deemed fit for what was his current situation that made me who I am. So I no longer try and dwell on, like, all right, look at it this way. I hated my dad because his previous decisions had affected me,
Hmm.
and it affected me spiritually because my dad was in it, like I got locked up and was going to jail and shit. I ended up going through the same process. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Now, as far as his upbringing was far different than me. Mine was not traditional. It was almost like being thrown into a void, you know? And there's a lot about my family that people do not know. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things that my mom has been through. My family's just like kind of spaced apart, you know? So it's a lot to mend in itself, but I understand that I have to be that middle ground. I am the gatekeeper. So I'm the one who has to fix everything, basically.
What about resentment? Right. So
Resentment?
if,
I don't
if
resent any of them. I don't resent any of them. However, just just as another man would hate to be under another man, which I've understood, and that's why I respect Ski so much, and that's why I want people like, all right, people have tried to make, all right, people tried to like, all right, the fucked up part was, I'm gonna get back to the resentment, but I wanna go because this is a perfect, like, I saw and people saw that we felt like Ski resented me to a degree because of my current status quo, but he didn't want to, like, understanding not being wanting to be seen as a sidekick, not wanting to be seen as a lesser, to be appreciated as an equal. He had to burn me and burn the bridge in order to walk his own route, and you know what I'm saying, and then that leaves space to create later on. So resentment, like, I don't resent anyone. However, I do have to walk my own path. I don't.
hold on though. Okay, maybe not. Resentment is a strong word,
Yeah,
but even you understanding that with Ski, didn't you feel a way?
with my father, I was Ski.
No, with Ski, even understanding why
I
he
felt away
had to.
because I felt away because I was naive. I felt away because I was selfish. I felt away because I did not feel the pain he felt. He is a man of ego. Now I can't relate because I am not a man of ego. I would not know how it felt to be. Picture ego as a demon. All right, picture
X,
just
you ain't gonna sit here and tell me that you don't have any ego.
how would I if I shaved off my fucking eyebrows and made myself ugly as a lesson. I made myself ugly as a lesson. I destroyed my sense of character as a lesson.
Let's go. Stop playing with my fucking
I don't know if that's ego or if it's like a image type of thing.
It's not an image. It was me destroying. It was me destroying my previous self. Everyone was attached to this black and yellow hair and this attractive mugshot that made me be perceived as a beautiful person. I destroyed that person and turned into someone else that was perceived as ugly.
Well, you are.
But I wasn't ugly inside. I was only ugly on the outside.
So were you doing that for the people who perceived you as that, or were you
I
doing
was
that
doing
for
it.
you?
I was doing it for everyone. I was doing it for them. I was doing it for myself because I was the next step.
So I mean, clearly now, like eyebrows are back, or whatever, and you know, what I mean, is that process complete? Do you feel like you have destroyed that image of you that had you look a certain way?
It's slowly killing itself because I have not been that same person. My actions have spoken. You understand? My actions have spoken for themselves. I mean, for itself. So it's
What do you think you've
more
changed for the better or for the worst?
for the better. For the better. The only part is I care a lot. I care too much.
About other people, or
People that I don't even know. Like really realize that there are literally no artists doing what I'm doing. And that carries a lot of weight to bear everyone on my back, to take responsibility for the youth. That carries a lot of weight. So all I asked for in return was physical and mental loyalty. That carries like people only perceive because I like I've been more playful and more comical and nice. You know what I'm saying? But understand that this is a huge. Just like it's a blessing. It is a burden
yeah.
because if I say the wrong thing, do understand that I have a million parents, teenagers, and kids responding negatively or positively, and all while doing these things, I have to be genuine. So the words have to be real. Because if I'm upset, I'm going to respond how I deem necessary when I'm upset. But it has to be real. You understand?
Of course. Listen, at one point, I remember we had a pretty heated discussion, but a respectable discussion, and that's why I respect you. Where you know you ain't gonna call me, and I'm the guy who's gonna just agree with whatever you say. I'm gonna challenge you, and you're gonna give your side. I'm gonna try to give a side, and shoot. Hopefully, we both grow in that conversation. I
Of course.
remember there was a time you were very frustrated with the media. Their depiction of you, things they would choose to show, things they
Yeah.
would not show.
I like what you just said. Choose to show.
Do you
Because
feel that?
I've seen you be very genuine in what you post. You a real one when it comes to that.
Okay.
You is, well, at least when it comes to me.
Okay. Have you seen? And again, when I say the media, I am a part of the media, but I'm expanding it to every media, from the small publications to the YouTubers to the giant publications. Have you seen a change? Have you seen them be a little bit more fair in dealing with you?
They can't talk. They can't say as much, bro. Because then they lose. Bro, the power. I am my own power. That's what people got to realize. You can't abuse my power. It is gonna backfire. You use my energy, and you think you're gonna disrespect me in the process, and it will destroy you. It may take a little while, but it will destroy you. It will destroy you because my supporters and family are much, much, much different from everyone else's supporters and what well they call them fans. They're much different, so you get a very, very different response. And you don't need like okay, yeah, it's sensationalism. Sensationalism and you get that what you want for the meanwhile. But then after a while, they see that okay, the people behind this are bad people. So the only ones that will feed on that energy are bad people. So if you like to feed on that energy, you're a weak person. You're a weak person, and you like to you. It's building. All right, people like to see other people in pain because it builds their pride.
Mm,
It makes them feel better. Like, well, at least that's not me.
that is true.
Exactly.
It feels like also you're alluding to balance as well. Again, we won't even call out particular publications, but we've seen you on like even your Insta Snap or whatever is it, the Insta Story.
Insta
Like,
story.
yeah, you've kind of told your fans like these publications here, they're not giving me a fair shake. Please don't view me as they would portray me, or don't fuck with them. Period. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Have you tried to like reach out? Have you tried to
Why
repair?
the fuck would I do that? That's ingenuine.
Well,
Niggas gonna hate me regardless. I'd rather them hate me.
well, sometimes people hate what they don't know, and they
They
hate what
make
they don't
they
understand.
make me more poppin' when they hate me. I got so many people behind my back. They just need to make sure they're loving me properly. They need to give me the proper love. That's all it is. They need to give me to what's gonna help me benefit so I can help them benefit. They need to give me the energy that I need so I can move forward.
So, is it like a dependence, at least for you, on the people who do love you to keep it going? Because I remember,
I am very much so dependent on them. Yes. They
okay,
actually, I was wrong when I said I am my backbone. They are my backbone.
because you know what, I remember, right? It was the first time I talked to you in a while, but you called me right after that BT award shit happened. But it was an interesting time for you. You were getting hammered in the media, and also I believe like one of your family members that got shot. And I
Yeah, my
feel like
cousin.
yeah, I think with all the criticism you were getting, it was a time that I could tell like you were trying to fall back a bit. You know what I mean? And of course, you eventually like you know what I mean got back on your shit, but it felt like it was the people who had to support you for that. So do you kind of just look at like your fan base, your family as you call it? You look at them for support in everything you do.
Yep. No, but there's a difference between mental support and going online, or getting up out of your bed and finding ways to support me however you can.
What do you mean though? That's vague. So you want to mobilize? It sounds
My
like you want to
my
mobilize.
mind is a kingdom. Take pride in being a part of my mind. Is basically what I tell them. If I am destroyed, this energy that you crave and you desire and that you use, like okay, if something were to happen to me, right? Like all right, if I got shot and ended up in the hospital, and I don't have a million people outside of that hospital trying to get inside, storming inside to make sure I'm okay, I would never ever make music ever again.
Hmm.
And I would abandon and become the evil person that everybody perceived me to be. And I would just be selfish like everybody else. Because then what was everything for? And I know it's possible. I know it's possible because my mind is a kingdom. Take pride in being a part of that kingdom. That energy that they feed on, this music that they use to repair their souls. Do you know how much energy I put into that? Do you know how much I sacrificed to do that?
Not too sure what happened there. Hold up. It's a great conversation. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like Barbara Walters. I'm a real nigga, bro. I feel like Barbara Walters though. Now the crazy thing is, me and X, we were lit earlier on FaceTime. Now he's in a very zen mood. I like this conversation though. Nigga better call me back or something. I'll see when and if he's ready to call back. Hey, I know some of you guys are like whatever, but hey, like I like that conversation. You get me? I like that conversation because whether you like it or not, it's an artist who has a lot of fans and very influential, very unique. He's giving you a chance for you to see into his mind. Whether you agree with every or anything he says, he's kind of trying to he's trying to navigate you through the complex weapons of his mind. Again, you don't have to agree with it. You can say it's complete bullshit, but it's very interesting. You know what I mean? It's more interesting to me than somebody just coming on here just popping a bunch of shit, or you know what I mean? We laugh a lot about random shit, and I take it even one further, yo. I think the reason why X is probably the most unique artist in the game, and that's why his fan base is so unique, is that I don't think his fans connect. No, I won't even say that, because they do. I don't think his fans just only thrive off his music. I think they thrive off his message. I think they believe he's a unique person. I 100% believe that that energy, what he's talking about. Hey, listen, he made an album and he said it was only for people who were depressed, and it did so great. But in reality, I think it's kind of like it's kind of like a religion almost. X has his own religion, at least when it comes to his fans. I watched his vlog, very interesting stuff. It was about 10 minutes long, and listen, despite him having a little bit scatterbrained, and again, if you don't have a script, you're probably going to be that way. What I saw was a guy who was just giving food to people who subscribe to his theories or his church, if I could dare to say, you know what I mean? So, very interesting guy, trust me, very interesting guy. Let me see if I can get him back on the phone. 100%, yeah. Like, what? When I asked him if, like, how do you learn how to, like, disseminate information in a certain type of way, X talks like a cult leader. X talks like leader of men, not by force, but through mental, like he captivates you mentally, and you believe in him. And again, I'm talking about his fans. I'm not talking about every single one of you guys, but clearly his fans, they're on some shit, man. You feel me? They are 100% on some shit. Let me see. Somebody say, yeah, I think he's possessed by dark energy. I don't think that at all. That's the weird part. I don't think that at all. Oh, here we go. Shit, he's calling. My brother. Yeah,
Sorry.
I was just about to say, we were having such a great conversation. Please don't let it end like that. Hey, I was also putting everybody on, like, who's in my audience, and of course a lot of them rock with you. I was trying to tell them, I was saying this is probably the most captivating conversation I've had in a while, because I have a lot of people on here and we laugh and we giggle about a lot of shit, but listening to you, and I was telling them, because some of them are like, yo, what is he talking about? Maybe he's going over their head, or maybe they just don't believe whatever you're saying. But I was saying, yo, he's giving you the roadmap to his brain and his thinking, right? So for whatever he's accomplished, for the millions of people who look up to him, that is he's navigating you through how he sees things, and clearly a lot of people agree with him. So I forgot even what I was even asking you about.
You know what confuses me?
What?
How much ignorance there is to the aspect of, you do realize what the internet is, right? The internet is a place where the brains go to intertwine themselves with other people. It's a spiritual connection, a visual connection. All it is a matter of connection. Now, when people get on the internet, right, and they comment, and they say, who the fuck cares? The amount of time that you took out to comment, the time that you spend on the internet, the dopamine you get. You do realize that the internet is the strongest form of a drug right now, right?
Yeah. You
do realize that every like you receive and every bit of appreciation you get is a form of dopamine. So it's a form of pleasure. That's why these girls go on the internet and they get naked and they do all they can to get publicity. They don't give a fuck what they gotta do. They don't give a fuck what they gotta go through. As long as they can get that reward in the end, that dopamine, that release. You know what I'm saying? They'll keep doing it.
Okay. You see, now I got to call you out on your shit, right? Okay,
Yeah,
you're
go ahead.
100% right about that.
Yeah.
But when you were coming up, you've admitted this to me. You said, like, shit, you be fighting people online, and all that was for attention in some way or
hmm
form.
I never denied that.
Um, Looking back at that, do you look at that and be like, so I'm saying, do you think that's wrong, right? Because you're right. It is applying to the
I didn't.
lowest.
All right, let me give you a perfect explanation. Have you ever seen me pop out of the woodworks on anybody in hate, ever,
Well, now
without a
you,
reason?
okay,
Without a reason.
well, now
Even
you don't
before.
have to. Well, now you don't have to.
I can give you every bit. I can give you every. If you do every bit of research that you can, anything that I've done wrong has always come with a wrong. So when someone would do wrong to me, I would do wrong back to get even. Now that's not even. You don't fix a wrong with a wrong. You don't fight fire with fire. That was my problem. I
Mm.
always felt the need to respond. Sometimes I do now. I feel the need to respond, but I don't. I fight that urge. That is what has empowered me. So before, right? I'll give you a perfect one. There's a video of me fighting online. I beat the shit out of some kid. I beat the fuck out of him. Like beat him silly. Made the picture a picture on my SoundCloud of me choking him out with my tongue out like I'm choking him out. I beat the shit out of him. It was funny. I put it in a song and all. The reason, right? I'll give you a reason. He paid me for a feature, right? Now I'm doing features. I'm trying to balance everything because I'm living where I'm living and I'm taking care of multiple people. I'm trying to do everything I can. I never told him when I would do the feature. I told him I got you. I'm gonna do it. But I'm an artist, so as long as it takes to do the feature, you have to give the artist the time so he can get the full appreciation. You know what I'm saying? So he can do what he's supposed to do. You don't want to rush an artist and then not get the full quality of what you wanted, right?
Hmm.
So I'm taking long. He gets disrespectful, like says some disrespectful shit. I don't remember what he said, but he said some disrespectful shit. I said, you know what? Fuck you. I'm not doing it. So then he says some crazy shit. Then starts going around. Now, I know people in Florida. Whatever anybody says about me, bro, I'm good in Florida, bro. I am good in Florida, bro. I'm gravy in Florida. I can drive around and go wherever the fuck I want by myself. Unless it's a stupid nigga that has the nerve and is stupid enough and don't care about his life to try me. You know what I'm saying? But those exist everywhere. I'm good, bro. So look at it this way. The word got back to me. You know what I'm saying? The word got back to me. Me and him end up at a similar show. We end up at a similar show. I see him on stage. I walk up to him. I look him in his eyes. I tell him, come here. He just looks at me. I grab him.
While he's on stage?
It's, yeah. I grab him off the stage. I pull him off the stage, headbutt him, take him to the ground. We get up. We go outside to go squabble. We go outside. We go fight. I beat his ass outside. Beat him like a man and let him go. I didn't jump him. I didn't kill him. I didn't stab him. I didn't shoot at him. I beat that man ass like a man, one on one, and let him move on with his day.
Hmm. Okay. All right, I get that. I get
So,
that.
so in the end of the day, that's more or less an actual lesson to be learned. I didn't do. You can't say I've ever like people perceive it to be irrational, but truly, like maybe when I was a bit younger, I was a little irrational, but now I haven't been irrational. So it's basically saying, okay, that none of you as viewers, that all of you motherfuckers is perfect. That's how people try and make it seem like when you go onto my shit, me as a person, with my current state of mind, you're gonna get my current state of mind response. You cannot hold me to my previous self. My life is not trying the way I've been rewarded, everything that I've accumulated. Obviously the world is rewarding me. You know what I'm saying? So you're supposed to understand and perceive these things like, okay, he's being rewarded for a reason. He has his mind for a reason. He has his value for a reason. Let me see what the fuck he's talking about before I let this be his permanent image. If you're going to get online, right, and you're going to read an article, and you're going to let that sit in your mind and you're going to talk bad about me, the amount of time that you take to talk bad, try and take that same energy and use it to be able to talk good, to go perceive and see what the real answer is.
Mm. Well, some people are pointing out, they're like, okay, yeah, maybe you never like hated on anyone, but people say online you use your online platforms as a way of like attention seeking, as they call it. Do you believe that when you online, you're like,
Why do Instagram models post pictures with their boobs out?
they want likes?
I'm going to keep using this comparison because it's the most accurate. The reason I do everything is to accumulate that attention. What is the internet for? To intertwine with other minds. What is my career based off of? Intertwining with other minds. Am I an attention seeker, or am I doing my fucking job?
But with that, you get people who are very annoyed at you or just hate you.
I don't care.
Do,
When was the last time you seen me go online and say that I cared?
yeah, you never do.
I'm trying. You know why I'm not gonna do that? Because then if I do that, the kids are gonna feel the need to complain about all of their problems. They're gonna feel the need when they go to school. They're gonna be mad. They're gonna be angry. They're gonna be like, you know what? Fuck this. If I respond and I say fuck this, then all of the kids are gonna do the same things. And they look at it this way: if something happens to me, right now, let me put a very, very, very harsh reality out there. There are at least 8 million kids that look up to me. If I, like, just like Kurt Cobain, if I killed myself right now, how many kids do you think would go down with me? And that is the reality of it. This is the reality of the power that I hold. Now, I don't use this in the negative aspect. You know what I'm saying? I understand what I have, and I'm trying to mold it in a positive direction because I have to. Because then I would be responsible for not only deaths. I would be responsible for attempted suicides. I would be responsible for drug use. I would be, bro. You see me? All right, 17. Go on there. You see? Am I rapping about drugs? Am I rapping about popping perks, taking Xans, popping pussy, all types of crazy shit? I do that sometimes because sometimes it's okay to let them have fun. Sometimes that's what they need. Sometimes they need to have some fucking fun. Sometimes they don't want to think about the real shit. Sometimes they don't want to think about their shit. Sometimes they want to forget that shit. So that's why I have a selective variety of music. Okay. I'd rather you go to me for that than some other artists that really don't give a fuck about you. That really don't give a fuck about you or your kids.
Hey, in terms of how your fan base views you, or like your family, as you said, is there any other artists who you've seen them have that connection with their fans?
Nope.
No, it doesn't have to be even current. It could be from the past.
Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain and only Kurt Cobain.
Did you look up to him in terms of even trying to have that like really trying to mold that connection and build?
There are only 2 artists, and I won't name the second one. I want to so bad, but then I know I'm gonna have a bunch of artists trying to go. Matter of fact, I should just say it. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it. There are only 2 artists that I know saved my life. That made me made me the mind I am. Well, there's more artists, but there's the dominant ones. That's Kurt Cobain and The Weeknd.
Why The Weeknd?
And not the current Weeknd. You have to go listen to his old shit. Like people because I don't really elaborate on who I listen to because I take pride in what I listen to because I use it for me. If you go listen to, like, all right, he has an album called Trilogy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before the Trilogy album came out, he had his mixtapes. There were mixtapes. There was House of Balloons, there was Thursday, and there was Echoes of Silence. He basically took the mixtapes, remastered them, added like 3 tracks, made them into an album and called it Trilogy. Now, the original, because the remaster sounds different, but it's just as good. Don't get me wrong, it's just as good to a degree. This is music I was listening to get outside of my mind. This is music I was listening to help me. And the subject matter is a bit different, but the energy behind it was real.
You think so? You know, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I'm trying to think of the energy. A lot of times when The Weeknd was on, even Thursday, I remember listening to like some of the songs on there, and I was like, it feels like it was detached. Like he was singing about like being kind of almost emotionless, especially like dealing with women. You know what I mean? Like
it was contradictory.
He didn't care. You know what I mean?
It was contradictory, but it was numbing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was the good thing about it, because it spoke. Look, the words didn't have to speak to you. It was the energy, because it spoke to your soul. It touched your soul.
Mm.
It numbed your soul. It helped your soul get through shit. It
Okay.
kept everything quiet. It made you be okay with like being in the room by yourself.
That is true. Hey, I have to ask you this because I think when people see you get in depth on certain things and your way of thinking is clearly
But
not
we could talk
conventional.
for a whole hour if you want, bro. I
Yeah.
like talking.
Yeah. No. Well, so they're asking also. They're like, does he take drugs? You get
No,
me? Because for some people, they're like, that's an easy explanation to
no.
why
I'm on
he thinks the
probation.
way he does.
I'm on probation. I get drug tested every week.
Yeah.
No. And I never really liked drugs. The only time I used to take drugs was when I wanted to kill myself. And I'll tell you, each drug I took when I did want to kill myself, I was popping Vicodins, I was popping Xanax. I tried to smoke weed, but weed made me too paranoid, so I fucking hated it. And I didn't want to do it. And then I was drinking. And that's all I was doing. I wasn't a kid that was trying to do all types of, bro. I wasn't with that shit, bro. I wasn't with that shit, bro. Because it was like, yo, drugs only make you weaker, fam. It's like, it's different, like, it's different if like a nigga goes and like all right, like acid and shit. Like I can understand that because that's almost like a spiritual journey. Like people do like acid and mushrooms. Like when I did that when I was younger, I did that and that expanded my mind. That definitely expanded my mind. I'm not gonna tell kids to go do that shit though, because not everybody can handle that shit. That shit will like drive you insane. Because it did. That's what it did when I was younger. It drove me insane. It made me go crazy. But then I found myself. So it worked and it worked to in a benefit. But I don't recommend that shit because like I've seen more people fall victim to it than suffice from it. But like when I was younger, because we're just speaking about when I was younger, because like I said, I don't do drugs. I don't like drugs. When I was doing that shit, bro, it was because I had a death wish, bro. I
Hmm.
had a death wish. I wanted to die. I would go in my like all right. I'll go and find any medicine that I could because I used to stay with my grandmother. When I was staying with my grandmother, I'd go and find any medicine that I could, and then I'll just take it.
You didn't
Even
kill
if it
anyone?
was, even if it was over, yep. Even if it was over the counter, I'll take it.
Hmm. So, that's interesting. So, like, recently we saw, like, you definitely, you spoke up against, like, Xanax. Did you feel like you had to speak up about it? We know
Yeah,
Lil Peep
because
passed away.
because bro, like here's the fucked up part. Because Ski had beef with Lil Peep back in the day, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why I had never like I never co-signed him. I never talked to him. I would never do anything with him. But we had similar friends. We knew similar people, and all I would hear was good things about him. But due to my loyalty to Ski, I would not fuck with bro. My loyalty to Ski, bro, and like, and it's funny because my loyalty to Ski oversees a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And people didn't really realize that. Like, that's why I got punched in my shit. Like, not to put bro in that situation, but that's why I got punched in my shit because he got jumped. He got jumped, and he felt like it was because I was defending him, but he was gonna get jumped regardless. He got jumped, and that drove me to the edge to go defend my friend. And then you saw I was stuck by myself, dealing with it by myself. You know, so with Lil Peep. The reason I felt the need to say something was because I felt a form of guilt. I felt not only a form of guilt, and I wanted to. The word is not reconcile, but I wanted to. I wanted to fix that. I wanted to fix that feeling in a proper way, not in some clout way, not in some like, okay, how can I look at this man's death and apply that to my fan base? How can his energy live on through my fan base? How can I get his death to be something positive, rather than a bunch of people calling him a fucking druggie? Okay, I'm gonna get these kids to stop doing fucking Xanax.
Hmm. Do you look at, and I don't know how much you examine other artists who, or what they do with their art, but a lot of your peers, they push that drug shit, man. Like they push drug use. They
Yep.
glorify it. They show it on social media. Now, I think everybody kind of chilled a little bit, but like a couple months before
Why do you
Peep
think
died,
they chill?
it's a wake up call, right?
Nah. Why? Nah.
Why do you think they chilled?
I wouldn't say his death was a wake up call, nigga. I say these kids are saying fuck Xanax because I told them to say fuck Xanax. I told these kids to stop doing drugs, and they listened.
Do you think you got that power?
Yes.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This is the first time. I mean, shoot, even Lil Xan is changing his name from Lil Xan. Like he's now Diego. You know what I mean?
And I commend bro for that. And when I talk, I think I had talked when I had talked to him. I'm pretty sure I told him, I'm like, yo, I just want you to make sure you do something positive with your wave. Cause I be talking, bro. One thing about me, I'm not a groupie, bro. I'm not no fucking groupie, bro. I don't feel the need to, like, if I have a conversation with somebody, I don't feel the need to screenshot the shit and put it online. There's so many artists I've talked to. There's so many artists I've talked to. So many artists even more famous than me that I've talked to. Like, okay, like, nigga, my whole family, bro, growing up, women around me when I was growing up loved Usher. Nigga, I met Usher. Nobody knew. Nobody knew.
Wait. Y'all ain't sit from the same cup, right? Like, I hear you got that. I'm just.
Come on, bro.
Nah,
don't subject me to that shit.
No.
I fuck with, man. I don't give a fuck. That's how I feel. If he do, then he does, and he's still Usher, and he still has saved millions of people, and his music has inspired the youth and kept us going.
Was that your relationship? So you even saying like you spoke with Lil Xan. It feels like you don't, and I've seen, of course, we saw you and Kodak. It don't feel like you don't have a problem with giving advice to people. Right
Not at
before
all.
you got on, about like 20 minutes before, Trippie was on, and he kind of said the same thing about you, like in terms of how you kind of gave him advice, and that's why he felt like for him, like you were like his best friend in music almost. Like, don't you ever look at somebody and be like, I don't know if I want to reach out?
It all depends. It all depends on what energy I perceive. But then again, the only reason I wouldn't message someone is due to pride. And I don't have I take pride in my accomplishments. I take pride in my supporters, my family. I take pride in the man that I've become. I'm not a prideful man though, as far as ego. Like, I don't think with ego like, oh, I'm too good for this person.
You got a little bit of ego, nigga. Hold on.
I don't.
Who do you compete with?
Have you ever seen anything surface online about me being an asshole or an ignorant piece of shit?
Not in person. Not in person. Not
Never.
Actually, I've heard
if I had
the
an ego,
opposite, that
if
when
I had an
people run
ego,
into you,
if I had an ego, why would I be talking to you right now? How does this benefit me? Why wouldn't I go to the fucking Breakfast Club and go talk to Charlemagne the God?
well, you on house arrest, nigga.
It could be arranged.
Skype it in.
Exactly, it can be arranged.
Who do you compete with?
Nobody. And don't bring up no comparison, because I'm not giving anybody that power or energy off my name. And if you do, then I'm gonna hang up.
Okay. Do you look at nigga, shut up, man. Do you look at anybody inside of, like, even, so you don't, okay, who inspires you then? If you're not competing, somebody got inspired.
Ski.
Why?
Cause I love that nigga, bro. And that nigga sees me as competition and will do anything to, like, me and him have just like the greatest fucking rivalry. Like, some days I'm Sasuke and he's Naruto. Some days I'm Naruto and he's Sasuke. And the energy just switches. But we never, like, we always find the middle ground. Always. It's never gone too far. We always find the middle ground. And on top of that, like me and him, like, we recycle a lot of each other's shit. Like if you go through my lines, you'll see lines that I've said that Ski has said. If you go through the Ski lines, you'll see lines that Ski has said that I've said. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we recycle each other's energy and we just create this raw energy, and then we even have our own energy on top of that. So it's like we just turn it, like, we're just bro, it's just raw, bro. We raw. But niggas is just sleep, and he's distracted by a lot of things, but bro is going to be raw. I don't give a fuck what nobody says.
Hey, what do you think about the state of Florida hip hop right now?
I feel like the sooner they decide they want to open their eyes, open their ears, and hop onto the energy that's going to help Florida become something different. That's
Who's they?
The streets, the people here. It's a melting pot. Florida is a huge melting pot. That's what it is. It's an accumulation of many races, many belief systems, just different. Bro. Florida is a fucking melting pot. This is where it's because it's seen as a vacation state, but it's not a vacation state. Like you'll see, like okay, when people were running from Cuba to come to the United States, it was ducking off at Florida. It's coming to Florida, and then the people from Haiti was coming here. You know what I'm saying? So it was just different races were coming here, and then you have people from other countries coming to Florida to come vacay. You know what I'm saying? Like it just became, and then some people just came and then ended up staying. Like it became a huge melting pot. So it's so many views and practices that there is no sense of conformity as to an agreement. No one has found a firm agreement, like in anything. Like okay, if we could all agree, right, on this is the greatest artist of our time, everybody would come to that agreement and act accordingly. You know what I'm saying? There's not that yet.
Well, Florida rap is very diverse too. Like what you do is very
No,
different from.
no. I am diverse. I am a diverse artist. Florida rap is not diverse. Hell no.
Nah, there's lanes there.
Hell
Okay,
no.
you might have your own lane, but
Hell
there's a
no.
pump lane. There's a
Okay, what does
Kodak
Lil
lane.
Pump do?
He makes
Bro,
tournament music.
no. Let me correct that, cause bro, I love Lil Pump, bro. Before nobody knows, nigga, and I'm not trying to sun, bro, but it is what it is. Before him and his little homeboy got on, I'm not even gonna say his name. I'm not giving nobody no power. You don't say it either. Before Pump and his homeboy got on, they was around us. We were giving them songs. We were doing things for them, like the distorted 808 beats that came from I. Like, all right, when I sat down with Ronnie J, shouts out to Ronnie J, because I want him to get my energy. When I was sitting down with Ronnie J making beats, ask Ronnie who helped him make the 808, the distorted 808. Ask him where it came from, because it didn't even originate with Ronnie. It originated really with my producer Stain, and then I took that. I took what Stain showed me, and I started using it in my beats. Like okay, like with my vocals, people were using my vocal